kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi màmá mi mo kí ọmọdé mo kí àgbà mo kí ọkùnrin mo kí obìnrin orúkọ mi ni Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho. Mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí mo fẹ́ fi bẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin brọ́dà mi sísítà mi ẹ̀yin màmá mi ẹ̀yin bàbá mi tí ẹ lọ síbi prógámù kíní àjọ̀dún yóǹkà tó ń ṣe ní Èkó tí ń bínú síra yín níbẹ̀ lánàá tẹ jà ẹ dákun mo bẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bínú síra wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa mo fi ń dá yín lójú pé Ọlọ́run ló pè wá jáde lásìkò yìí Ọlọ́run tó pè wá jáde yóò tì wá lẹ́yìn kò dẹ̀ ní tì wá lójú àti fẹ́ẹ́ débi tá a lọ tán ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ ká da ẹ má jẹ́ àbára wa jà ẹ má jẹ́ kíjà ọ̀sẹ̀ láàrin wa kó a nídìí ìjà ẹ má jẹ́ kéde òmu wa orílẹ̀-èdè la fẹ́ gbà orílẹ̀-èdè wa òun la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà òkè tó bá sọ fún afẹ́ tí àfẹ́ tí change of government kọ́ la sọ fún afẹ́ kò kì í ṣe change of government là ń béèrè fún o orílẹ̀-èdè la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà tó o gbà sùúrù ọ̀dẹ̀ gbà ká pé àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àtàwọn yẹn gàgàgàgà síbẹ̀ kájọ ṣe ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ kó sú wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà dákun mo bẹ̀ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ẹ má jẹ́ ká jà o èdè onímú wa o èdè onímú wa o èdè ayé ìdẹ̀dẹ̀ tì wá ṣé mo dúpẹ́ orúkọ mi ní Sunday Igboho ẹ ṣé. mo kí ẹ̀yin bàbá mi màmá mi mo kí ọmọdé mo kí àgbà mo kí ọkùnrin mo kí obìnrin orúkọ mi ni Sunday Adéyẹmọ tí gbogbo yín mọ̀ sí Sunday Igboho. Mo fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí mo fẹ́ fi bẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin brọ́dà mi sísà mi ẹ̀yin màmá mi ẹ̀yin bàbá mi tí ẹ lọ síbi prógámù kíní ní àjọ̀dún yóǹkà tó ń ṣe ní Èkó tí ń bínú síra yín níbẹ̀ lánàá tẹ jà ẹ dákun mo bẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ ká bínú síra wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa èdè onímú wa mo fi ń dá yín lójú pé Ọlọ́run ló pè wá jáde lásìkò yìí Ọlọ́run tó pè wá jáde yóò tì wá lẹ́yìn kò dẹ̀ ní tì wá lójú àti fẹ́ẹ́ débi tá a lọ tán ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ àfọkàn ara wa balẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ ká da ẹ má jẹ́ àbára wa jà ẹ má jẹ́ kíjà ọ̀sẹ̀ láàrin wa kó a nídìí ìjà ẹ má jẹ́ kéde òmu wa orílẹ̀-èdè la fẹ́ gbà orílẹ̀-èdè wa òun la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà òkè tó bá sọ fún afẹ́ tí àfẹ́ tí change of government kọ́ la sọ fún afẹ́ kò kì í ṣe change of government là ń béèrè fún o orílẹ̀-èdè la sọ fún afẹ́ gbà tó o gbà sùúrù ọ̀dẹ̀ gbà ká pé àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àtàwọn yẹn gàgàgàgà síbẹ̀ kájọ ṣe ẹ má jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ ẹ má jẹ́ kó sú wa ẹ má jẹ́ ká bára wa jà dákun mo bẹ̀ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run ẹ má jẹ́ ká jà o èdè onímú wa o èdè onímú wa o èdè ayé ìdẹ̀dẹ̀ tì wá ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́ orúkọ mi ní Sunday Igboho ẹ ṣé.
mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàárọ̀ níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń gbọ́ wa aago 6:30 ló ṣẹ̀lù ní ibikíbi tí ẹ̀yin tí ń gbọ́ wa aago lè yàtọ̀ síra wọn 6:34 a.m. Wednesday the 23rd of November 2022. My name is OLAMILEKAN and I'm koikimedia. Mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, and I say good morning to those of you on the MixLR. Good morning on our Facebook. Good morning on the Instagram. Good morning to all the friends and followers of this platform. I welcome us once again. Mo kí gbogbo wa bí ẹ ti ṣe ń darapọ̀ lọ́tùn lósì. A kí gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń tẹ̀lé ètò pé ìrìn àjò Yorùbá Nation. Mo fẹ́ ká wo àkọlé tí mo kọ, because I will touch on different areas. But the most important thing, like I've said in the past, tí mo dẹ̀ máa ń sọ ní gbogbo ìgbà pé a ní right to self-determination, and that right cannot be taken away from us. Àwa kúkú kọ́ la kọ article tí ó jáde ní 1960, which is a referendum. The United Nations Declaration on the Granting of Independence. But one thing is, bí a ṣe ń bá ìrìn àjò yẹn lọ láti bí ọdún mẹ́ta, I have always remained that the Yoruba Nation, pa fi gba Yorùbá kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà, kò ń ṣe ojú lásán la máa fi gbà. And I don't think I've changed that láti ìgbà tá a ti ń ṣe Yorùbá Nation. I've listened in the last 3 years to so many things, but in tí mo dúró lé kò yí padà. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ mo ní kò ṣe gbogbo alájọ máa délẹ̀ lérí, kò kí ń ṣe èpè, nítorí pé ìrìn àjò tá gbé dání bólúkálukú ṣe máa gbé ó máa yàtọ̀. And let me say this clearly fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń gbọ́ mi ní gbogbo àgbáyé, and I'm not mixing my words at all. And I want you to listen carefully. My loyalty to this movement is to nobody else but Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. That is my first loyalty, and that is not going to change. Because mo rántí my link with Chief Sunday Igboho. And if you don't know, I will just bring this image up just to give you back some kind of recollection to how the link between myself and Igboho popped up. I don't know anybody in the movement, and I believe nígbà tá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìrìn àjò yìí, mo lọ kanlẹ̀kùn yàrá anybody láti sọ pé kí Yorùbá Nation kó wáyé. That picture you're looking at is me after Tolulope Arotile was killed. And as I was angry, upset with the death of Tolulope Arotile that was killed by the federal government of Nigeria, I decided that I will go to the embassy láti lọ protest. And tá bá sọ pé the contact that came out of these protests led to myself having the privilege to receive a phone call from IGBOHO himself. And that indicates the journey today. Let me say this clearly. For those that have been following the movement, I am a media. I am not a blogger. I am a very, very highly intelligent man that do a lot of readings and research. And I am blessed with a very beautiful mother that I've seen the world before myself. At least she has been to 23 countries around the world. And that has given me a bit of understanding of how the world operates. But how the world operates kò likely kò jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ làwa ṣe máa operate, because bí àgbáyé ṣe wà ó ní template. But one thing is, during the course of the 3 years of this movement, I have not moved an inch for the love I have for all our leaders as we continue to try to reclaim our right to self-determination. Our right to self-determination cannot be taken away from us by anybody, not even the G7 that I have mentioned so many times in the last 3 years, at least without any scare of whether one of those countries would eventually, have something different to what I am doing. And I have not changed. Kódà, I believe that Tobani and T also àwọn to lead you in this movement. I have been number one, and I have not changed. And I believe a lot of people have now agreed to some extent how this movement will be. And 3 years ago, I said, and I quote, that the country Nigeria is a big elephant and it will need a lot of people to kill it. And I believe more people tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ó ń dìde lójoojúmọ́. lójoojúmọ́ láti darapọ̀ mọ́ self-determination. And self-determination is not politics. It's about educating our people láti jẹ́ kó mọ̀ the right from the wrong of what has happened in the past. Because ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn mọ̀ kí ló ti ṣẹlẹ̀ rí sẹ́yìn. Because history was removed. And apart from pé wọ́n yọ history, gbogbo wa wákọ̀ bí wa sínú Nigeria, and that's how far we know. Kó tó di pé a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí break it down. See, bit by bit, bit by bit. And I think along the line, a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí yọ èyí tó jẹ́ tiwa, à ń yọ sígbẹ́, à ń yọ síra wọn. And it has been very powerful as the messages was going on. I have said that I'm not going to take that down, that my media is powerful enough to enlighten and educate people, to know that the self-determination tá ń fẹ́ yìí, we are not going to get it without any fighting of control of what belongs to us. If anybody says otherwise, it is also good. Béèyàn kan bá sọ pé àníjà, which they have said to me 3 years ago pé ìjà ò ní wáyé, but I have not changed my mind to say pé kò ní síjà. I say, and I'm still saying it today, 23rd of November 2022, a máa jà ní ká tó gba Yorùbá nation. If anybody is saying otherwise, I have not got the right to dispute it. It is entirely up to anybody to say anything, because everybody have the right to self-determination, and nobody will take that right from us, not even among ourselves. You don't have to agree with the right. Tèmi sorry, lórí nísìn. That is my own cup of tea, just to go on the layman. That is just my own prerogative. Pé tó bá ra máa jà, problem tiẹ̀ nìyẹn, àwọn ò ní jà torí pé a fẹ́ jà. That is your own right as well. But the fact that èmi dúró lórí pé a máa jà yẹn, I have not changed that. And I know that some people have started to ask the question, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation yìí? Ọ̀nà wo la fẹ́ fi gbà? Kí la máa ṣe láti fi gbà? And before I go into all other details, let me say this clearly fún gbogbo èèyàn. It does not matter whatever anybody is saying. Ẹ̀yin kọ́ lọ rán mi iṣẹ́. And if I've put my life in danger, that is my own cup of tea. It's not none of your own business. Because danger is what we live with every blessed day in our life. Ayé tá à ń gbé lójoojúmọ́ yìí, we live in danger. Oúnjẹ tó ń jẹ lè pa ẹ́ lórí, and you are dead and you are gone. O lè rìn lójú títì, ìwọ mọ in tó ń bẹ lójú títì tó fi ṣèyàn léṣe tó fi pa ẹ́. Èèyàn lè sick kó má ní àlàáfíà mọ́. There are so many things that is out there that is so danger and so dangerous. O lè gbẹ́sẹ̀ lé kankan, and that will be the end of your life. So pé à ń sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation is now a danger. Àbí ó lè mú kankan wá. It's not for somebody like me. And at least we pray that we will live long life to enjoy and witness the Yoruba nation that we are all talking about. Àwọn kan tẹ́ sọ pé kò ní wáyé nínú ọdún yìí. Àwọn kan tẹ́ sọ pé a ti declare. All I can say is everybody have the right to self-determination. Gbogbo èèyàn ló ní right to self-determination. And let me say this. Yoruba nation that we are asking for is not a family business. And that literally means that different people and many people will say and do different things at different time. Tó bá ṣe kan ní last year, and tó ṣe kan ní this year, and tó ṣe kan ní the following year, it does not make any difference. And let me say this clearly. You will only say as much as what you have been carried along. And I hope we are listening carefully. My job from the media perspective is to enlighten and educate our people and prepare our mind. We are kúrò nínú Nigeria, and that is what I have stick to, and that is what I have been told, that this year we will exit the contraction called Nigeria, and I have not changed that. A lot of people might see the movement as unserious. A lot of people might say different things, and people are waiting for somebody like me especially to come out and then try to say something, and then they'll say, hey, if I want to so. And let me say this clearly for the record purpose. We are still in the journey of the Yoruba nation. It is not yet completed. The journey of Yoruba nation is not yet completed, and that's a fact. Whether you agree with it or not is entirely up to you. But as far as I'm concerned, the journey continues. You don't have to agree with me, and I don't beg you to agree with me. The journey of Yoruba nation is still in the progress, because there's a lot of different ways that we will kill Nigeria. Lot of ways. Because Nigeria, as you can see there, is very powerful itself. But it will be killed. Because the mind of the people has been woken up. Ẹ̀mí àwọn èèyàn ó ti ṣí kúrò lára Nigeria. Probably not everybody. We got to be honest with ourselves. There's still millions of people that agree that we should keep Nigeria. I am a very, very learned person. And I'll be stupid in my own capacity as a media that have lived in UK for the last 20 years and tell you that it is all done on the Yoruba nation. I'll be very stupid. I jẹ́ pé mo mọ̀ tí mo ṣe nìyẹn. For me to sit down here and tell you that it is done and dusty, there will be, I don't know what I'm doing. But let me say this clearly. Fáǹfààní gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbọ́ Yorùbá nation. If they have agreed or we have been told that a declaration has been made, that is just one part. From people that believe in the self-determination that we will not disagree with. But the job is still in progress, as far as I can say this morning. Because as at yesterday, which was I've not spoken to Benin Republic today, but as at yesterday, we are still coming out for our super rally. And that super rally, yẹn jáde, whether you say it is late, it is not going to happen, it's entirely up to you. Kódà ààrẹ ẹni tí ó fún wa ní owó just for the record purpose, tó ní òun ò ní rò pé super rally yẹn máa wáyé, òun fẹ́ gbowó òun padà. And I dúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́run pé my integrity is at stake. And the money was returned. I'm talking about yesterday. For the fact that they believe that the super rally is not going to hold. And the person requested their money back. And we gave the money back. But let me say this clearly. there will be a super rally. And the super rally will lead to a lot of different things from what I have said in the last 3 years. Because that is another part to take ourselves out of Nigeria. It doesn't matter if anybody bá jókòó tó bá ń sọ anywhere. I am a media and also the spokesman for CSI. And likewise, not the spokesman for any leader, but I believe in them. But pé spokesman CSI, I will say exactly what I have been told. It does not matter whether people say IGBOHO is not going to come back to Nigeria. That is your own cup of tea to say so. You have the right. Any right láti sọ pé IGBOHO ní wálé. Ta ló stop ẹ? Kò sí nǹkan tó stop anybody láti má sọ pé IGBOHO ní wálé. You have the right. Ìjọba military coup kọ́ la wà nínú ẹ̀. Tó fi máa di pé bóyá wọ́n intimidate anybody. Nobody is going to intimidate anybody on this movement. Not even me will intimidate you. Because you don't have to agree with me. Because tó bá agree with me, tó dẹ̀ sọ pé ò like nǹkan tí mò ń sọ, that means pé mo ti intimidate nìyẹn. But tó bá gbà pé ntẹ́mi ń sọ yẹn, ó dà ń pé make sense, then that's fine. Kò sẹ́ni tó máa intimidate anybody. I am not going to sit here and tell us as many things that probably maybe a lot of you wants to hear in terms of kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní back end. No, I'm not going to do that. Mo sọ fún yín pé ọlọ́pọlọ lẹni tó jókòó yìí. But what I will say is there will be instruction at the appropriate time from CSI. Because CSI is not a man to joke with. And like I said, everybody has different link of how we started and how we all met. Morawari, probably maybe few of us, like Morawari. But one thing is, àìtí parí iṣẹ́ Yoruba nation. A ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni. If I can sit here and say that kódà àwọn tó tẹ̀lé wa lọ bá ṣe ń lọ nísìn tó jẹ́ pé APC member ni wọ́n, PDP member ni wọ́n, Labour Party member ni wọ́n, they have the same right to self-determination. But ọ̀nà táwọn ṣì ń tọ̀ ló yàtọ̀ síbi táwa ń gbà. And at the appropriate time, tá bá sọ pé àti gba Yoruba nation, they have the right to the same thing. Táwa náà ní a ní right sí. And that means that the journey is not for one person, it's for every one of us. The journey of the Yoruba nation is for every sons and daughters of Yoruba people. Even with those that disagree with us, you cannot stop them from being part of a Yoruba nation. So kílẹ̀ ẹ máa lọ káwọn tó jẹ́ member APC, PDP àti Labour Party, ibo lẹ máa kó wọn sí? Nítorí pé wọ́n ò bá wa ṣe ìrìn àjò yìí, so they are not going to live in a Yoruba nation. I don't know how you're going to do that. I don't know how you would do that. Because everybody knows pé ẹni tó bá ti jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹni tó bá ti fẹ́ Yorùbá, just as ẹni tó ń fẹ́ aráàlú míì tó jẹ́ òyìnbó British, ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó bá fẹ́ British, tó fẹ́ ọmọ Britain, he has the right to now claim a status. Àbó mọ̀ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ẹni tó wá gbé níbí báyìí tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó bí síbí, tó dẹ̀ ń ṣe pé ó lọ through asylum tó jẹ́ pé ó fẹ́ British tó ní British passport látàrẹ̀ ló fi process ìwé tiẹ̀ tó fi di pé òun náà ní status. So bó ṣe máa rí náà nìyẹn fún arákùnrin kan àbárábìnrin kan tó ti fẹ́ aráàlú míì tá à ń pè ní bí àwọn Igbo, Hausa or any other of the ethnic group tó kì í ṣọmọ Yorùbá gangan. They will have the same right like you. But for me to now say, if anybody is doing anything otherwise, we disagree, I'm not going to say that. Because I have said 3 years ago that the country we are trying to take can be killed from different points. And let me say this very clearly. We have the right to be excited. We have the right to jubilate. We have the right to also ask questions. And some of those questions is what we have been trying in the last 3 years. So if we have been asking questions in the last 3 years, why must we not be able to ask questions in 2022? Why tẹ́ ṣe ń pè sí gbogbo program tẹ́ ń béèrè àwọn ìbéèrè àti ìta lè dáhùn àti ìta lè dáhùn? Is Igboho on a political asylum in Benin Republic? The answer is no. Everybody just wants to know a lot of things, especially with Igboho, because they know that as much as we have 60 million Yorubas around the world today, one person out of that 60 million was targeted by the federal government of Nigeria. One person. Nínú gbogbo pé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation, èèyàn kan péré ni government fẹ́ pa, and that was CSI in 2021, July 1st precisely. But prior to that, there has been so many different attempts to make sure that Igboho should be taken out of the picture, so that Igboho bá ti kúrò nínú picture, maybe the rest of us will push and push, but a lot of people will fall back, and that's a fact. And everybody knows that. But we are trying to pretend as if we don't know that. Every single person mọ̀ pé if the government had been able to eliminate Igboho, it would have been a different case study today. Maybe we would have gone back and reviewed a lot of things. Maybe we would have done a lot of other things. Let me say this, for those that are asking questions. If we have got a declaration of Yoruba nation, the question that you're asking, I believe you've got the answer. The question tẹ́ ń béèrè yẹn, you've got the answer already from the program that Iyawa Onitiri tó ṣe ní àná during the Shoye Koribe program, which she was able to explain. So if those explanation is not clear to you, I'm sure they will continue to give us those explanation and the process Are we going to use one process to get out of Nigeria? For me to say it's going to be one process, I will be deceiving myself. I will be deceiving myself. If I'm sitting here and saying that, ọ̀nà kan yẹn náà la fẹ́ gbà lọ nísìn, I will be deceiving myself. For somebody that lived in Europe for 20 years, I will be deceiving myself. Do I agree with the declaration? If it's going to help the movement, why not? It's part of killing Nigeria. Because amapa Nigeria kò kí n ṣọ̀nà kan àbí. But ṣé ọ̀nà tí àwa ti fi declare nísìn is the final to give us the country that we want? Like I said, the journey is still ongoing. Because the journey of Yoruba nation, as we have said, that is a spiritual thing, but it must also be physical for the world to be able to give us that final recognition. Because we want the world, àgbáyé, láti fún wa ní the final recognition, not probably maybe every one of them, because I have given you so many examples. And one of those examples was Taiwan, tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ lé lánàá. Some are even saying that I did not put the declaration on our timeline. And the question is, was the declaration given to me? Or I should just go and copy a declaration YouTube from our brother Jimmy Boy and then put it on my own timeline. I talked about it on Monday. I am not scared. I'm not scared of anybody. But like I said, not everything I will say to the public consumption right now. I will leave others, just as I've done in the last 3 years. Because gbogbo nǹkan lẹ fẹ́ yẹ ká sọ, but gbogbo nǹkan kọ́ la máa sọ nísìn. I will leave the rest for the public consumption. But one thing is, declaring a Yoruba nation is just one step out of the other step that will be done. So if a declaration was made, as we have been told, just as everyone was told, is the way I was told as well. And I want that to be on record. And I don't have to be given advance notice that they will declare Yoruba nation. So if anybody is not asking me, oh, it's the same way that you got the declaration that I got the declaration. So you don't have to ask me that question that I cannot answer. Even though I have, people that called probably maybe even up to 2 weeks ago that I'm going to declare Yoruba nation. I'm going to declare not doing last hotel. So I'm going to declare. But one thing I know is we will hold a super rally whether you agree or you disagree. I don't have to be arguing with that with anybody. Because trying to argue that will be a waste of time. But the declaration that everybody is celebrating around the world, from those of us that have seen it, is also still a process. And that process is not yet completed. from the point of view of who I am as a media person to come and say that I to declare and that's the end of it. And I will tell you it doesn't work like that from me as a media. But does not mean that Iteminsoye is right. You don't have to agree with it, because 3 years ago, before I know anybody, even before I know Chief Sunday Igboho, even before I know Baba Akintoye, èmi sọ pé a máa jà ní ká tó gba Yorùbá nation. And I was told a lot of times, even with some of those that I'll probably not want to mention right now, pé kí ẹ máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí pé inú ìlú tèmi ń gbé. Because if I'm saying pa máa jà, the British government might not be happy with such statement. Kódà àwọn kan tó link mi pé nígbà tó ti gbé Adéyínká grandson kí n lọ tẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ pé èmi ni máa jẹ́ the next person. And I say, tẹ́yìn bá wà worried, I am not worried. Because for us to get the freedom, there must be a sacrifice. But not everybody wants to sacrifice. And that's fine. Not every one of you wants to sacrifice. And that's why there will be people in this world that will do different things at different time, just as we saw as an example. Ronaldo is a footballer that is well loved around the world with about 500 million followers on his Instagram. And kódà nígbà tó kúrò ní Man U, because èmi screenshot ti 500 yẹn, nígbà tó máa di jọ́ kejì ó ti lọ sí 501 million people. So if anybody is saying that ní jáde fún super rally, I'm saying to you today, we are coming out when we get a date, and we will announce that date. The preparation is going on. Some say the year is gone. I keep asking, you are lying. Ọdún yóò ti tán. That is a blunt lie. If anybody is saying ọdún yóò ti tán, you are lying, because anything can happen between now and the end of December. And we have seen history that back that. Because Soviet Union got 15 countries after the dissolution of Soviet Union, known as the USSR, in 1991, December 26. So who is now telling me that Intimon Somomo, you would have to wait until after January 1st before you can argue that. You can't argue that now, because ti parí ọdún. Tabawa the next year, tí wọ́n bá wá ṣe super rally, then any right láti question ní koikimedia pé pẹ̀lú gbogbo tó sọ fún wa pé a máa ṣe super rally, a dẹ̀ máa declare Yorùbá nation, kí ló dé tí kò wáyé? And we must not be distracted, because we must remain focused, which I have said again for 3 years. Even among those of us that are medias disagree with my views, but immediately sọ kàn mí lójú, which they've done so, and immediately sọ kàn mí lójú, because mọ́ra rí tẹ́lẹ̀. And let me say this, kò sẹ́ni tó lè dàrin àjò irú. All these motions that wọ́n kó wa lọ sí 2023, I've heard that a lot. That we are going to be taken to 2023. And I say it here so many times as well, that tó bá tẹ̀ di kàráǹgídá, ara àjàlẹ̀ yín wà. Baba Akintoye, I've said it point blank without mixing words. And we played that yesterday with his interview that he granted to Ghana, our brother in Ghana, when he actually says, and I quote, that there's nothing like 2023 in his profile. So, why should we then try to believe that Baba Akintoye máa kó wa lọ sí 2023 because wọ́n fẹ́ support Tinubu? And if anybody have evidence to that, I challenge them to release that evidence. It doesn't matter how it's going to be painful to a lot of us to hear or listen to such evidence. Àtayébáyé ni wọ́n ti ń leak evidence. Pé àgbo àṣírí kan tí kò jẹ́ kó jáde rí. I don't think some of you know what they called ẹni tó ní WikiLeaks. How many people know WikiLeaks? I don't think àwa fẹ́ sọ Yorùbá nation káwa sọ àwa bíi irú èmi ẹ wá sọ mí dọ̀dẹ̀. No, I'm not stupid. I have lived there for 20 years. I left Nigeria in 1998. And I've lived, tó bá níyàn gbé pẹ̀lú àwọn òyìnbó, kódà bó jẹ́ abọ́ náà ni mò ń fọ̀ nílùú yìí, àárín àwọn òyìnbó ni mò ń gbé, pure British, pure, kò ń ṣe ìtàn mix, pure ni mo bá gbé nínú bíbá for 20 years, and I'm not stupid. Because if anybody is saying that they have all these evidence, àní àṣírí, I am saying that ẹ̀yin kọ́ lẹ máa kọ́kọ́ láṣírí, but ẹ release it to the public domain, because WikiLeaks ní àṣírí tó ju gbogbo àṣírí lọ ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Ó sì wà ní Belmarsh prison bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Wọ́n tí lè extradite padà lọ sí America because wọ́n sì ń fight ìjà yẹn pé in tó release yẹn is for public consumption. So if anybody, whether you are the individual, whether you are mo ṣì ń bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ èyí tó wà ní Russia, ìkan sá lọ Russia. I'm going to remember his name. If anybody remember, just put it on the comment. I'll pick that comment up. Èyí tó lọ sí Russia tó release information America. Kódà wọ́n ti fún níwèé ní Russia nísìn, but it's still under protection of the Russian government. So all this, I think everyone is getting carried away now. Aláṣírí, but tá bá sọ aláṣírí, tá bá máa ti sọ àṣírí yẹn, I beg anyone right now, release gbogbo àwọn àṣírí yẹn. Even if it's the one that is got to do with me, you better release it now. WikiLeaks released information that was so sensitive. And today, people are still even fighting to get him protected. So, all these aláṣírí, àṣírí wà lọ́wọ́ wa, àṣírí yẹn ó wà lọ́wọ́ wa, tá bá fàṣírí yẹn sílẹ̀, no. Please, at the stage that wa is 21st century, àṣì ní the dark age anymore. Tẹ́yìn ò bá lè release release fún àwọn tó máa ọkùnkùn máa bá ṣe máa send ẹ̀ sí voice note tó máa káàkiri tó lúkálukú máa gbọ́ pé with ẹ̀rí kò ṣe pé kakọ̀ sọ pé release it and let us see it. The Yoruba nation cannot be brought down by anybody, and I've said it for the last 3 years. Yoruba nation is something tó wà ní ìgbáàyà gbogbo wa. But one thing I can say is Nobody will be able to stop it. If anybody wants to know or ask questions, I will only answer the ones that I have idea of. I will not answer questions that I don't have a clue and I don't have an idea. Let me say this. If anybody says the federal government wants to take out IGBOHO, they've tried to do so before. They went into his house in the middle of the night when everyone was fast sleeping. And the only intention that they did was to kill him. Yes, we know that there are still a lot of attempts on his lives. There's no doubt about that. But because he's fighting for one cause, for the humanity of the people that are known as the Yoruba people. Do I believe in all the leaders? I believe in them, without any doubt in my mind. But is this job going to be completed? It will be completed. How? The process started 3 years ago. And within the process, there will be different process. There will be different process up to the final stage. But ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ń wá the downfall of Yoruba nation, even among those of us that are saying that we want Yoruba nation. They are looking for the downfall. They want Yoruba nation to be the laughing stock. Aṣáàrí àfà àti wòlíì tó sọ pé Tinubu ló máa wọlé ní next year. Aṣáàní tán rí tó fi ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Adẹ̀ráhùn tó sọ pé kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀. But Nigeria as it is right now is going through a turmoil. It is something that is moving, that wants to break. It is very fragile. Ìgbà tó fẹ́ fọ́ pátápátá, òní process tó lúkàlùkù put. As at yesterday, the Ninas were still putting on their Twitter that I watched yesterday in bringing down the 1999 Constitution. Even though we are not the only one that wants to break away from Nigeria. And we are not just going to be the one alone to try to say, ọ̀nà táwa máa gbà nìkan ló máa fi ṣe. Because there are so many people, whether they are the Yorubas or not, the Biafra wants to go. I've even read from platforms that says because the Biafra are talking about 2023 and we have got alliance with them, that literally means that we are pushing the Yoruba nation into 2023. How gullible and idiotic people are. Because it is very difficult for them to understand the difference between an alliance that has a parallel line, just as Baba Akintoye said during that presentation. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ tán pè ní alliance and a parallel line. Tí Biafra bá náà fẹ́ lọ ní 2023, how does that stop us saying that we are going in 2022 is the question. But because they've been fed with a lot of different things tí wọ́n understand, thinking that nítorí pé a ti ní alliance with the Biafras that so many people disagree with, and it is your right to disagree with that. But one thing is, the alliance stays as it is. And I'm going to show you, because I follow different indigenous people around the world, not just the ones that has been merged together in Nigeria. And as at yesterday, this is what Ninas was putting out in their quest to self-determination. Because self-determination is the right for all the indigenous people that the British government put together in 1914. And it is time that we say enough is enough. We have been fed lies for a very, very long time, for the last 62 years. Irọ́ tó dẹ̀ pa yẹn is what we are now winding down gradually, because irọ́ tó ti sọ pé we are one Nigerians, and everybody knows that it is not true. We are not one Nigerians. We are all indigenous people. And if you look at this is the Nina's information as at yesterday or day before yesterday. Sovereignty and self-determination first. So transitioning now, not election 2023, under the faulty constitutional order established by the fraudulent 1999 Constitution. And that is the message. And so many other things that they have on this Twitter handle that I follow. Àwa ni kọ́kọ́ ni indigenous people around the world that is asking for their right. But how do we get it is the question that people are asking. Tó ní tẹ́jẹ̀ sílẹ̀, tá dẹ̀ má gbà, without anybody saying it is not valid. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni pé ká náà fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Ọ̀tọ̀ ni ká make sure pé ó wà valid around the world. The Yoruba nation that we are asking for is not for us anymore now. It's between us and the global community that we want to interact with. Because it does not matter whether we say we are going to build a country of our own. We will still need the global community to move around as a Yoruba person or Yoruba citizen. So we must be able. The world does not have to agree with us, because Taiwan is building a country that China disagree with. Taiwan has a military might that even if China attacks them, they will attack back, and it will be messy. That is the stage that we need to start working towards as well in the long run, so that we can have a country that is ready to defend our people. whether from the security of lives of our people or from the economy that will be buoyant, tí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá máa lè jẹ àǹfààní nínú ẹ̀, torí pé Nàìjíríà tá wà nínú ẹ̀ tí gbogbo wa ti mọ̀ láǹfààní kankan tá à ń jẹ nínú ẹ̀ ju ìkà tí wọ́n ń ṣe fún ìran ọmọ Yorùbá, tí ó fi di ìdí tí a ṣe fẹ́ jáde kúrò nínú ẹ̀, torí pé kò láǹfààní kankan tá à ń jẹ nínú ẹ̀. We are being marginalized inside Nigeria today. There is genocide inside Nigeria today. And these and so many reasons that our identity has been hidden under Nigeria because we are not Nigerians. And we have been able to prove that pé tá bá yọ òyìnbó tá ń sọ ìkúrò nínú Nigeria, ǹjẹ́ a sì lè communicate pẹ̀lú ra wa, and everybody agrees that kò lè possible. There's no way we can communicate nígbà tá bá ti yọ English kúrò, because English language that was given to us was by the colony during the colonial rules. Nígbà tí àwọn òyìnbó wà lọ́dọ̀ wa, àwọn ló ń kọ́ wa ní English, èdè wa là ń sọ tẹ́lẹ̀. Àwọn ló bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń kọ́ wa ní A B C D E F G H I J K L M tó fi di pé àwa ṣe kí ni, àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń mọ̀ pé èyí tí a máa fi Yorùbá tá máa fi máa kọ̀ọ̀kan tá máa fi máa sọ̀rọ̀ à ń lo èdè òyìnbó. bó tó bá lọ sí Japan, tó lọ sí South Korea, tó lọ sí Turkey, tó lọ sí Germany, tó lọ sí àwọn ìlú tí wọ́n kì í sọ òyìnbó, wàá rí pé gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n fi ń kọ̀ọ̀kan láyé èdè wọn ni. And that's something that we need to understand. And èdè láti sọ pé ó wà lára ìtàn pè ní a country. In the last 6 months, there has been a lot of different things tó lúkálùkù ń sọ àti tó fẹ́ kó rẹ̀wẹ̀sì jáde, and we tried to make sure that we did not give room to that, because iṣẹ́ tó fẹ́ ṣe ni pé to bring this movement down, whether deliberately or indeliberately, whether directly or indirectly. But it was managed to some extent. It was managed to some extent that they realized that wọ́n lè gbé ìrìn àjò yẹn wálẹ̀. But a lot of people know that things are not right, but they are keeping it to themselves and wondering that kí ló dé tí kinní yóò right by. Even if we sit here and we don't say much because we are trying to manage the situation, and I'm still not going to say anything as far as I'm concerned, because we are still going to manage it. But in the minds of everybody knows that something is just not right somewhere. Pé kí ló dé tí kinní yóò right báyìí, kí ló dé tó rí báyìí, kí ló dé tó máa ń lọ báyìí, tó máa ń lọ báyìí. Ṣé wọ́n sà sí wa náà ni, ṣé wọ́n ṣe nǹkan kan sí wa náà ni. Everybody knows that. Kò sẹ́ni tó jẹ́ ọmọdé láàrin wa. An average person that is now talking about Yoruba nation will probably be an 18-year-old today. Average. Ọmọ 18 years old. One more. Everybody knows that something is not right. Either amongst those that are directing this movement. Everybody just know. It has been played out so many times from different perspective, different narrative. But today, everybody is now like, but everybody knows. If I can know, you would definitely know. And that's something that you keep to yourself. But a lot of people also want to ask questions. A lot of people want to ask a lot of questions. And those questions will be answered, whether on a live transmission or behind a closed door. But not all questions will be answered, because questions that you want to ask, you already can see the picture of those questions. Yoruba nation cannot be stopped by anybody. And I believe in it with my heart. You don't have to agree with that view, because I've seen people say all kind of different things, even up to yesterday. Say, blah blah blah, blow blow blow, and I just laugh. But everybody knows that there will be turmoil in Nigeria between now and the end of the year, stroke next year. Everybody knows that. That the thing that we are running away from, we are still going to try to go back to it, which is to make sure that we are ready to defend our land. Ilẹ̀ la fẹ́ gbà. Àwọn kan tẹ̀ máa rẹ́yìn máa sọ pé àdúgbò lẹ fẹ́ gbà, ẹ̀ ṣáà dáhùn mọ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ni. No, we are just saying. Because everybody knows where it will end. Àwọn kan ní ṣe ti rógun rí ni tẹ́ ń pé ogun. But they are gullible, because we can all see that we are being surrounded. Economy of the country have actually crumbled, that everybody is now begging for food. Everybody is literally begging. You think it's just about Fulani alone that is our problem? The inflation we have today in Nigeria will kill you. Kogun tó bẹ̀rẹ̀. Inflation tó wà nínú Nigeria would kill a lot of Nigerians, because we now have about 133 million Nigerians today that are living in abject poverty. 133 millions of Nigerians in abject poverty. Ṣé Fulani ló máa pa gbogbo àwọn yẹn? I don't think the Fulani have the capacity to kill 133 million, but hunger, ebi, will kill millions of you. Kò ń ṣe pé ebi pé àárí nǹkan jẹ will take out a lot of you, and that will bring the frustration like I said, if you are angry, you can be angry with yourself. Nobody has disputed a declaration. You'll be stupid because I've not said so. So if you are angry, you just have to be angry with yourself. But is that the final? Is the question. And what will be the next process? Have you sat down and thought about it? So if anybody is angry that we are not celebrating a declaration, that is your own prerogative, not mine. Because I came out to talk about it the day after, if not the same day, that I watched the whole declaration on the YouTube, on the Jimmy Boy. I watched it just like you watched it. And I listened to Unitary throughout the program yesterday. I was behind the scene listening. And the question is, like I said, for somebody that lived there for 20 years, I'll be stupid to just agree with everything. You can agree. That is your own prerogative. That is why it's called self-determination. Go and look at the title of the program. It is a fight to finish. There's no doubt in my mind. And it is just one part. And there will be so many other parts to complete the mission. But if anybody is now saying that, oh, we don't need any other part to complete the mission, you will be also stupid to think in that direction. Oh, I need any other thing, and that's just the final. Really, are you sure that that is going to be it? To prove to the world that we are serious people. Do you know what we are saying? And that is it, that is it. There will be a lot of other things to shut it down and let them know that we are not joking. And we are never joking in the last 3 years. Maybe you are joking. I am not joking. I am not joking. Because the only way that we would let the world know as well is we must tell them with our not just voice, with everything that we can think of. Do you know that the world care less whether we declare a Yoruba nation without proving it to them? They don't care. The most of it tó bá wọn heaven kó sọ̀kalẹ̀, a Yoruba nation must be declared, and it has been declared. That's fine. But how are we going to tell the world? Nobody has disputed a declaration. I've not come out to dispute it. But you just have to listen attentively and ask questions. Èmi ò kì í ṣọmọ àlè, ọmọ ọkọ gidi ni mí. And I'm not scared of anybody. Because nobody put me in this position láti máa sọ pé a fẹ́ Yoruba nation. Bẹ̀ mí ṣẹ́ now. Some of you met me in the movement. Some of you saw me when I came out the very first day, and some of them have even dropped out. So, but like I said, we are speaking a language, and we must speak that language that the world understand properly. The government at home cannot do anything, but we got to speak the language that the international community must understand, that we are not coward and we are not going to take this amalgamation anymore. That is what needs to be done. And that is what a lot of us are scared of. And that's a fact. We want the easy part. Yes, that's fine. We've declared. That's one of the easiest part to do. Or don't you know that? Declaring is not our problem. We have declared, and we have declared to the world. But how do we now prove it to the world is what we are going to do as well. And that's why I said is a multiple task. Nobody has condemned a declaration. I have not condemned it. Have I celebrated it? I've talked about it. And that's more than enough to prove that I could have pretended that we move, but that would be stupid of me to do so. And like I said, I've listened just as you have listened, and nothing more than the fact. So, but you think I am stupid? I am not stupid. I am not stupid. Èmi ò stupid because I am a learned person. I could sit down there and declare Yoruba nation. Ìbí bàbá kí n tó yẹ pé mi nígbà kan pé ẹ̀jẹ̀ máa abẹ́fẹ́ declare ni wọ́n sọ lórí program náà. Àti declare ò lè. And I don't think some of you have done a background research on declaration. I have done so. Yeah, declaration is done in different ways and different formats. Go and look at the declaration that the American government did when they were getting out of the bondage of the British in 1977, if I'm right. It was one of their senators that read it. But àwa ní senator nísìn tó ń support wa, ní House of Rep tó ń support wa, because they are all corrupt in the corruption of Nigeria, and they want 2023, and we must not allow that anymore. But there was a unity as at the time the American law declaration one. And I hope you understand. So, if we declare, we must go with the action along with it. But if the action hasn't come, it's fine for the declaration. And everybody says actions speak louder than words. Nobody have ever said from CSI and Professor Banji Akintoye that we are going to 2023. So why this motion that one call loss 2023? Who are those? We want to know. I want us there to tell them to release any evidence to that today. Because if we are saying that àwọn kan kó wa lọ sí 2023, àwọn wo media wo ló ń kó wa lọ? Ṣé blogging ni àbí àwọn tájọ ń ṣe Yoruba self-determination àbí àwọn ti Nigerian media, Bọ́lẹ̀ Kájà media? Àwọn wo? Because all these wọ́n kó wa lọ sí 2023, wọ́n máa kó wa wọ 2023, àwọn wo? Let us know them so that we can come and talk about it. Not just sọ pé àwọn wo. Tẹ́bá náà wọn, it could be the Nigerian media, it could be the bloggers, it could be those that disagree with us. But tó bá jẹ́ pé lára àwọn tí a náà jọ ń ṣe Yoruba nation, then we need to know them with the evidence. So that ká má kọ̀ má fi information síta tó máa contradict ìrìn àjò yìí. Because you cannot just be saying one kó wa lọ sí 2023 and you want everybody to believe that without any evidence. Every evidence I've told you that the WikiLeaks, Julian Assange is over ní Belmarsh because all this information tó wà sensitive. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó kúkú máa arrest ẹ̀yin débi pa máa mú yín lọ sí prison. Release information yẹn fún wa. Carry. Give us those evidence now, or you all just keep quiet. Because it's a kind of a distraction to the movement as well. Everybody knows that Tinubu doesn't want Yoruba nation. There's no doubt. That's why he's contesting as the president of Nigeria. Everybody knows that Sowore is not a fan of Yoruba nation because he don't contest as the president of Nigeria. So, but àwọn wo gangan ló kó wa lọ sí 2023 ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wọ́n so that ká má kọ̀ máa sọ pé wọ́n kó wa lọ 2023 wọ́n kó wa lọ 2023. Because the motion that we are being moved to 2023, by 2023, by who? Because those that we are following, Unity now 2023, a declaration has been made. That's fine. Baba Akintoye say lọ sí 2023, Igboho náà lọ sí 2023. So àwọn wo ló wá kọ́ lọ sí 2023? When the 2022 fúnra rẹ̀ ò tí tàn. Because the politicians at home, there are not a lot of them, but they are ready to make sure that 2023 comes. And that's why they are campaigning across the length and breadth of Nigeria today from all the political parties. Ìyẹn ló ṣe ń káàkiri. And they are not ready to back down. But we have said self-determination is our right. And nobody can take that right from us. We are no longer going to allow the Nigerian government to bully any one of us. Ẹ lè jáde, ẹ lè ṣe kìnnìkan. No, it's not going to happen. Because that is what the government wants to do. Just to bully us. And make sure that we are bounced to one side. And our voice are not heard. But it is too late. Because our voice have been heard already. What is gbóhùn wa? Because tó bá gbóhùn wa ni, a lot of them will not be talking about Yoruba nation in the negative way. For those that disagree with us. Because wọ́n mọ̀ pé tó mú wa ní a fẹ́ Yoruba nation. A fẹ́ Yoruba nation nìyẹn. So, if the first part of a declaration has been made, that is the very good thing to do. And they can continue with that. But the next part is, for me, is there will be a super rally. A super rally will be announced at the appropriate time, which will be before the end of the year. And everybody should go and fasten their seat belt. Because it's going to be a bumpy ride. You need to go and fasten your seat belt. So pé ó ti wà ní kò ní wá o gbó gbà. You don't have any evidence to that. And if you have that evidence, I am putting it on a challenge today, Wednesday, 23rd of November at 7:57 a.m. Bring the proof out. And it's as simple as that. Is it going to be one-man squad? No. Kò possible. Èèyàn kan ò lè dá ṣe, kò possible. But can a man push? It is possible. If they are ready to sacrifice. Can a woman push? It is possible. If they are ready to sacrifice. But not everybody wants to sacrifice. Some wants to stay behind while one person sacrifices, and then they will follow. Once again, a very good morning and welcome to the conversation. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan ṣe níbikíbi tí a bá ti ń darapọ̀ mọ́ wa tí a ti ń gbọ́ wa. We come back in a minute. That was Ekiti. There will be the mother of all rallies in all our towns and villages. Ẹ má yẹ kó fi ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì pé Ìgbòho ní wá àníṣe rally. No. Everybody's coming out for the rally. All hail our Biafra brothers and sisters. Everybody's coming out to prove that the land belongs to us. And it's going to be done this year, whether you agree or not. 2023 will be a lot of things that would now also show that the country is divided. Well, we move from 2022, but as we're going into 2023, you will realize that the country is so much divided. So divided. Because the unity tí àwọn èèyàn ṣì ń rí in what is called Nigeria today, that unity will start falling apart come 2023. For those that still believe in 2023, not us, because we don't believe in what is called Nigeria. It's the fabrication of the British government that wants to keep it like that. I want to show us something from the South African president that came to UK, and you will see the difference of how he was welcomed compared to when Buhari was here. And you will now understand some of the hypocrisy of the British, giving you the impression that Nigeria, according to them, is one, but knowing fully well that we are not one. But the gullible Nigerians will probably not understand these. But I will just show you some few things that happened in UK when the South African president was here. And let's take you through quickly. South Africa president was on a visit to United Kingdom. And the question is, why was he given such welcome as compared to when Buhari came here? These are part of the state visit, as you can see. of the South African president. State visit lọ́fún. And I'm asking my question. Was there something that is hidden about the Buhari that they don't want us to know, but just to prove that Buhari is Buhari and he was presented to King Charles while he was in London? Or was it because he will probably get his own state visit before he leaves office? Kí ló dé tí wọ́n fún Buhari ní state visit? I'm just asking the question. But as you can see right there, these are the Sylvia Ramaphosa is the first guest of His Majesty King Charles II for a state visit to United Kingdom. Is there something? Remember that Buhari visited King Charles as well while he was in London. And I just want to see if I can get that image. And I'm sure this is the image that we got then. And Buhari was even telling us that òun ò ní ilé ní London. Remember? But I think what Charles was saying to him, probably directly or indirectly, was, I'm not going to play the video because it's unnecessary to listen to the jack shit man you call Buhari anyway. So, but I want you to look at the image. That is all we got from Prince Charles. We know it's not a state visit, that Buhari was there on a medical treatment, but he just passed by to say hello to Charles. So definitely they cannot prepare. But the question is, we should ask is there something that we don't know that is hidden as compared to these images? Looking at the fact again that our relationship between Britain and United Kingdom has been dated back to thousands of years. So, I want you to put that at the back of your mind. That is there something hidden? Once again, a very good morning. I just want you to have these at the back of our mind, that this is a state visit of the South African president. And as you can see there, even some of the South Africans are angry that while there is unemployment level and all sort, is here in UK as a special guest to the King Charles III. The state visit carried procession made up of presidents of South Africa, as you can see right there. And this is the reason why we remain slaves to them. If anybody is thinking what I'm thinking, then you would understand what I'm thinking.
And Elisa with the Queen Consort, received by his Lord Lieutenant, Sir Candelisa, with the Queen Consort.
Why is
This
it that
pavilion-
South Africa Lokoko gets a state visit compared to Nigeria? I want you to put that at the back of our mind. There's a lot going on behind the curtains in the world of today. There's a lot going on behind the scene. And these are just some of those things, and that's the South African president.
As I propose a toast to the good health and prosperity of His Majesty, the King, and Her Majesty, the Queen Consort. And thank you very much indeed.
And these are the images that goes out around the world. And if we as Yoruba people say we are going, we must prove to the same world that I have been talking about that we are not joking. Because the British government must know that we are serious with our demands that we want our own sovereign nation. The Americans, the Europeans, because Britain is no longer part of the Europe countries. And all these is what is being played out to the world while we are all shouting and saying we want Yoruba nation. These are the images that some of you probably did not see. The royal reception, King Charles III welcomed President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. As you can see there, we remain the puppet of the Western world. They dictate, they direct, they tell us how we do things. And this is why we are saying that if truly we want them to know that we are serious, we got to up our game a little bit.
Westminster Abbey. We will lay a wreath at the tomb of the unknown.
Definitely, Amakwe Bubu was only here for medical reason. But for them to have granted South Africa a state visit before Nigeria, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Or am I just the one thinking? When I open my phone line, you can talk about these. I just want us to have
Both
it
houses of Parliament.
at the back of our mind. Again, as we are all saying we want Yoruba nation, we must also remember
Bright
that
day, beautiful day actually, very chilly, but
that the British government knows what they are doing. Before a state visit can be approved, it takes a lot of things inside. Intercorrelation is well detailed, and that's why I said I have lived there for too long not to understand how things work. So, perfect by Yoruba nation, it will be done with multiple tasks to prove to Britain that we are not joking. If not, it's fair enough that we are far away from some of you, Nile. The worst case that they will do is probably, worst case scenario is, oh, in tó ń sọ yẹn ṣó bófin mu kò bófin mu, we will go to the court. The court will decide whether some of my utterance is wrong or good. It is not for the British government but for the court to do so. But if we are going to prove what I am saying, we got to make sure we hop our games up, so that this motion pé ẹ má worry, tí Igboho bá wá kò ní lè padà lọ Benin Republic mọ́. We don't want him to go back to Benin Republic. Benin Republic is not his home. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nílẹ̀. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nílẹ̀ Baba Akintoye. And that means if we want Yoruba nation, we must do so in a way that when they come back, they are in their land and the world will know that. And the same thing goes to every one of us around the world, including myself. Àtẹ̀yìn pé sọmọ ní Koiki wọ́n tó dẹ̀ tí ní ká lọ́ọ́ máa pariwo Yorùbá nation, ṣé màá lè lọ lé mọ́ báyìí? Èmi tí mo wà ní Libya, ṣé màá lè lọ lé mọ́ báyìí? And that is why I say there will be different steps and stages in this Yoruba nation. Because elephant in Lalampa, even the elephant is no longer recognized outside the world. They could have given Buhari a state visit, because if the South Africa president was given a state visit, it would take nothing less than, maximum Kima exaggerated you, at least 10 days láti plan it. Because it takes time to prepare, the troops, that, the oúnjẹ tó máa jẹ, it takes time. So 10 days, and they could have given Nigeria the same priority. Do you know that if I'm right or wrong, let us remind ourselves, ṣé Obama dé Nigeria ṣá? Nígbà tó ń káàkiri? Maybe somebody can help us with the answer. When President Obama was the American president, ṣó dé Nigeria ṣá? So how do we as Yoruba people now make sure that ọ̀rọ̀ Yoruba nation tá à ń sọ yìí ó lọ káàkiri etí wọn kó lè bá mọ̀ pé àṣírí? Because as far as they're concerned, they're not going to take us serious if we do not up our game. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. It is fair enough that we are talking among ourselves. But ṣé ara wa la fi bá sọ̀rọ̀ àbí àgbáyé la fi bá sọ̀rọ̀? Are we talking to the world or are we talking to ourselves? Which one are we doing? Thank you for the super chat. Olakunle. Èwo là ń ṣe níbẹ̀? Ṣé à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation fún àǹfààní ara wa, which is good, a máa nílẹ̀ wa padà, a máa build economy wa? Àbí à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation kí wọ́n lè gbọ́ wa náà ní àgbáyé? Because I don't think whether they are hearing us around the world. I don't know, maybe when I open my phone line you can all call in and tell me that. Ṣé wọ́n ń gbọ́ wa ní àgbáyé bá ṣe fẹ́ kó gbọ́ wa pé a fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation? Àbí a kàn ń bára wa sọ̀rọ̀ within ourselves? Koiki, ìgbà wo ló máa wà live? Ìgbà wo ni media mi máa wà live? Ìgbà wo ló máa sọ̀rọ̀? Ìgbà wo ló máa ṣe this? Ṣé yẹn la fi máa ṣe? Or we want to let the world know that we are not joking. A ti sọ pé àgbàṣẹ lẹ́nu wọn definitely, but a gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kó mọ̀ pé a ṣe pé eré la gbé dání, because ìtagbé dání has life and death in it. People have died between this time we start the movement, whether directly in the movement or indirectly. People have died, whether they are just a supporter from far away and they died, or the ones that was well involved and eventually died in the process of this movement. And we have the records and their names, and we will remember them as fallen heroes. Just as Britain, America, Cyprus, UK, Syria, Saudi Arabia, Israel, Japan, North Korea, everybody remember their fallen heroes. We will do the same thing at the appropriate time for those ones. We will remember their loved ones as well. And like I said, the world must be ready to embrace a new nation. Again, the issue of whether people embrace it or not, you'll be stupid to say that anybody embrace it. It's because some of you are expecting some of us like me to say, hey, I told you I am not a stupid person. 1 person, 2 person, 5 person can move this movement. And if you're stupid, I am not stupid, okay? You can be stupid. I am not stupid. Because èmi ò ṣe illiterate. Illiterate lẹ́yìn tẹ́ máa sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, èmi ò kì í ṣe illiterate. Because at the end of the day, we want to let the world know that we are not coward and we are not and we have the right to self-determination. We have the right to declare, and we will declare. But we must also let them know that we are not joking in a way that would have impact quickly on them. Tabashi sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe kó tó wá máa tutù díẹ̀, then that means we are all stupid. But with a waste of energy and time, what we have done in the last 3 years. Oh, torí pé nísìn ká wá ṣe wá jẹ́ kó slow down, ká wá ṣe ní tútù. Kí lẹ mean by that? No, kí lẹ mean by that? Àwa sọ Yoruba nation, àwa sọ di Baba Suwe, Aluwe. Àwa sọ Yoruba nation, the Aluwe, to the international community that don't give a toss of who we are. That American government is saying that, they have ní candidate kankan ta support to ti Britain ní ti tabari election àbí tabari ṣe kankan àwọn ní fún ọ̀rọ̀ visa ní answer ní àbí ká make sure pé we block wherever needs to be blocked and let them know that we are not joking. Do you know that there's a lot that is going on, and it will go on if we do not put the force on it? That's why we are saying that we will come out for our super rally. A lot has been done. We have done the petition. The petition has led to us having 5 million people to say we are ready. The government say we are 32 million. Fair enough from them. 5 million is enough for a country. They have declared, it's fine. Nobody has disputed a declaration. But what we are saying is there will be the next step to prove the whole journey. And that is where I stand. But like I said, all other things is not for the public consumption. It's an internal one for now. But it will be known later on. That's all I will say. So every one of us, including you and me, you have the right to have your own YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and say whatever you want to say, as long as it's not 2023, don't sorry, because we are not going to listen to you. But tó bá ti jẹ́ lórí Yoruba nation, self-determination, fine. We might even disagree with some of what you say, but we will just know that only self-determination lẹ́nu yẹn dúró lé, because èmi ò dúró lé lórí 2023. Even though I've never voted in Nigeria, but I went to Nigeria at a point of the last election with my own money as an observer, and I have all the evidence. kàn ṣe pé wọ́n sponsor mi lọ pé do you know that EU pay people to go and become an observer? Àwọn kan ti gbowó ẹ̀ nísìn. If you don't tell them, they are just we will just become a laughing stock. Even though the intelligence around the world are monitoring everything. Àwọn tó wà lágbàáyé tó jẹ́ intelligent wọ́n ń wò wá báyìí, from the CIA to the MI5 and the KGB, every one of them around the world in Israel, but they are preparing for their own people to get the hell out when there is a loose hole. And that's where they are sitting and waiting. They are not waiting for me and you. They are actually waiting to instruct their people, just as America actually told their people to leave Abuja because it's no longer safe. Kid America rí tí àwa ṣì wà ń rò pé there is a country called Nigeria. Ó máa ní kankan tí America rí. Ó máa ní kankan tí America rí. So we will continue from our own platform, the education, the enlightening, and we talk about how the progress continue without any changes. Nothing is going to change. But I don't want anybody out there thinking there is this skepticism that nothing is going to happen. A lot has been happening already, and we have seen it from all the leaders playing their own different roles, and everybody will play their different roles at different times. One has played a role, we will wait for the remaining role to be played. Role can actually play by saying, oh, we declare. That's just one role. There's still so many people that wants to play other roles as well, and we will wait and let them play that role. That means that there will be a lot that we will still expect before the end of the year. So nobody has says anybody has done anything otherwise that is wrong. No, I am not going to say that. But what we are saying right here is there is still a role that we are waiting for to be played. I'm going to open my phone line, and I might have to get something to drink. So maybe I should just go on a short interlude, and then we will open our phone line and we take calls. Studio number only is on the screen, and we can get your own views. If questions that you ask, if it's not something I can answer, I will just pass it. Probably maybe the public will help you to answer. I will only answer as much as we have known, and what we don't know, I will not be able to answer. Like I said, the movement, Eshegomi Yawa Omolara Ajala, and welcome on board. Thank you so much for helping us behind the scene. Eshegomi Yawa, I just spotted you there. Akibubo Yiti and Darapomova. The number is +4474 044059117. I've read a lot of your comments. If I've not responded to those comments, I'll be doing so later on before the end of the program. Quite a lot of comments and quite a lot of questions. Quite a lot of people are concerned, and some of you are not concerned. You know, that is a movement. A movement is always a movement. It will not be perfect. But one thing is, it will be good at the end of the day. And everybody is a part of the movement. For those that agree, not everybody agrees. You know, Tinubu doesn't agree, Showore doesn't agree. Even the son of MK Abiola, Kola Abiola, does not agree with self-determination. I don't think some of you know that. He disagrees with self-determination. He wants to contest for president of Nigeria. Ìyẹn Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá, the first son of the late Chief MKO Abiola. Àbẹ́ mọ̀ pé ó fẹ́ contest. Ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá náà contest as a so kò believe in any self-determination. He believes in one Nigeria. He believes in one Nigeria. So while we are saying we want self-determination, remember that Kọ́lá Abíọ́lá disagree with us. So plus 44 74 04 405917 is the studio number. And then when you call, please mute your background. There's no point. We don't want to hear the noise at the background. It's not a very good one. We're using the software, so it will not have any interruption with our Instagram. We have people on the Instagram, but we cannot pick calls on the Instagram because of the way it is set up. But I hope, I don't know why Instagram does not allow a landscape. You know, they've never allowed a landscape. It has always been a portrait. But because the way I've set it up, it has always been a landscape, and I hope you can all enjoy it that way. Once again, the Yoruba nation has come to stay. Nobody can take that away from us. When you look at the map of Nigeria today, Oni bi olukaluku wa se wa tele, and we must remember that we will go back to that same direction. We're going to take my first call. Please, let's mute our background and let's go straight to the point, and let's not take too much time. Yeah. Hello, caller.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Ekaro.
White Lion, God bless you. Mo fẹ́ pray fún yín ni. Ọlọ́run máa ṣàánú fún wa, àdúrà wa máa gbà. Amadélé ìbírí. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ máa ń ṣe pátá is 100%. Nǹkan yẹn kọ́ mo kàn fẹ́ sọ. Mo gbọ́ program kan lánàá nípa ọ̀rọ̀ pé wọ́n declare. Anybody ló lè ṣe nǹkan tó bá wù. Ìyá fẹ́ gba nǹkan ni. Ọgbọ́n ti tè ní nǹkan tó jẹ́ kí Britain máa jẹ́ Britain yẹn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Because problem ta ní Africa, number one, àka obìnrin sí nǹkan kan. Irú relationship tí wọ́n bá lè wà gan àti marriage ọkọ àti ìyàwó tí ọ̀yàwó ọba lè advice ọkọ ẹ̀. Nígbà tó bí ìyàwó bẹ̀rù kí ó dùtù. Anybody ló lè ṣe nǹkan tó bá wù tó bá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan kí ọ̀nà yẹn fi dá. Nígbà tó bá ti pè é ní ògbà, ààrẹ ronú bákan náà sà.
Definitely.
Your way, ó láìkí ẹ̀. Some people are sọ pé àwọn ò láìkí wé tìyín. Ẹlòmíì náà wà sí láìkí wé tèmi gangan tí mò ń sọ̀rọ̀ bí mo ṣe ń wùwà. Gbogbo wa ò lè rí bákan náà. Bí wọ́n nǹkan táwọn ṣe, they do good. Ẹ̀yin náà ṣe ti yín dáadáa, àti máa ṣàṣeyọrí. Ẹni tó bá pè tó bá sọ pé nìkan ṣe nǹkan kan, ẹ máa kọ́ tí wọ́n hàn fún mi. Àbẹ tó bá kọ̀ọ̀kan púpọ̀. À ń lọ síbi kan ni, ọ̀nà tó bá wù ọ́ la lè fi gbà. Abáwọ́lọ́wọ́ tó ń sọ ẹ̀ kí ṣe abáwọ́lọ́wọ́ nìkan ló dá ṣe ń gbà yẹn. Wọ́n pọ̀ tó jọ ṣe. Nǹkan tó ń pè tí queen wà níbà wọn sọ fọ́bìnrin ni. Ṣebí lẹ́yìn tábà ní prime minister tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa lọ bá queen ni tí queen máa sọ pé bá ṣe tọ́jọ́ ń ṣe lélẹ̀.
Ọ̀yọ́ ń ṣe gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì.
Tó ń ṣe gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì tó ní àjọ a máa ṣàṣeyọrí àti débi tá ara oríire náà. Ẹni tí ò bá lárugẹ lè wọ̀ pé ara oríire ni. Bá a ṣe ń gbé nǹkan ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ẹlòmíì tẹ bá gbé nǹkan márùn-ún tẹ bá ní kòtò bó ṣe máa tó máa yàtọ̀ sí ẹlòmíì bẹ́ẹ̀ tó wà ẹnì kejì tó fẹ́ tó tiẹ̀ ṣe máa tó. Nǹkan tó fi máa sọ pé kájọ ṣe collective ọpọlọ kí gbogbo akájọ gbé nǹkan sílẹ̀. God bless you sir. Mo love yín.
Thank you so much.
Ọ̀nà ilé àtọ̀nà yín ò ní dàrú. Àjọ máa délẹ̀ lè bí nípa. Àjọ máa débẹ̀ ní pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run.
Thank you so much.
Bye bye. God bless.
Our first caller has opened the line, and you know, this is not a freedom that we would stop anybody. We are not in a military coup or military era on this platform. Your views, your comments in the last 3 years, for me, has not make any, like I said in this movement, I trust just myself because I know where and what I want. I'm not going to disagree with you, with your views. It doesn't matter whatever your views are. It doesn't matter what my views are. We are running a movement for people. And I am going to look at it from different aspects of what a media can do. I am not a blogger. You will also listen and pick points and disagree and agree. And that is why Macron, the president of France, he was slapped. ẹni tó slap ẹ̀ wọ̀n nípa ọkọ̀ máa fi sí prison wá charge ẹ̀ wá dẹ̀ á lọ máa gbọ́ kíní ẹgbọ́n sókè your life with us.
Hello, Koiki. Ẹ káàárọ̀ sà. Ẹ fojúmọ́ àwọn ọmọ mi ń kọ́ àti grandma. Ọlọ́run ti ṣàṣeyọrí àwa náà dẹ̀ ti ṣàṣeyọrí àbọ̀n máa dúpẹ́ náà ni ọpẹ́ náà ló bá wá àgbájọwọ́lá dẹ̀ fi ń sọ̀yà ìkàkùn ògbẹ́rù dórí kémi gbé kí wọ́n gbé kí gbogbo wa gbé tábà ti ń fọkàn kan ṣe lọ́rọ̀ yẹn pé ìfojúsùn wa ojú kan náà ni bọ̀ ẹnikẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ fà wá sílẹ̀ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí David nínú 2 Samuel ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí gbogbo wọn látòkè délẹ̀ mi ní fún gbẹnu sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo àwa tábà àwa Bible scholar ká lọ kà á nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ sí gbogbo wọn látòkè délẹ̀ ọmọ àwọn ọmọ wọn máa bá ara wọn sùn ní sójú ara wọn ni because a lè wà nínú ìyà ká máa jìyà ká má lè lọ sílé ká ti rìtáyà kó tútù máa mú wa kí gbogbo ẹsẹ̀ wa máa gan káwọn kan wá dìde nípa àwọn fẹ́ gbà wá nínú ìyà káwọn kan máa fà wá sílẹ̀ kò lè possible mọ́ it's not gonna happen àwa tá wà àwa ẹ̀yin tẹ jẹ́ àwọn ọmọ wa ń sìn ojú yín ti là àwa ò lè jìyà kíyà wá jìyà kẹ́yìn náà tún wá jìyà no ẹ̀yin ní ìjọba sọ̀rọ̀ sókè tó máa gbọ́n ìyà yẹn nù lára wa
Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Ní jábọ́ lórúkọ Jésù. So tí màmá onítìrí bá ń ṣe tiwọn tẹ́yìn ń ṣe tiyín tí Chief Sunday Igboho ṣe tiwọn táwọn dáàdì náà ń ṣe tiwọn ibì kan náà là ń lọ ibì kan là ń lọ destination kan náà ni gbogbo wa máa lọ bọ̀tẹ́nikẹ́ni tó bá lóun fẹ́ yẹ̀ wọ́n lọ́nà àbọ̀n fẹ́ máa kó sí wa láàrin àbọ̀n fẹ́ máa lọ porí wa wọ́n fẹ́ máa lọ ṣe kinní kan pé ká máa bára wa jà wọ́n tó àwọn ti fail woefully torí pé kíni Ọlọ́run ti ṣẹ́gun ẹni tó lọ́run bá ti wà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ wọn ò lè rí mú wọn ò lè rí màmá onítìrí mú wọn ò lè rí Koiki mú wọn ò lè mú gbogbo àwọn sọ̀rọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n gbé ìjọba yìí dání nítòótọ́ wọn ò lè rí wọn mú wọn ò lè rí Chief Sunday Igboho mú wọn ò lè rí bàbá Akíntóyè mú gbogbo wọn pátá wọn ò lè rí wọn mú àwa gan náà tàdé jọ ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà kò sí kọ̀ọ̀kan ní wa tó máa rí wa mú tó ń bá ní wọn máa mẹ́ni ọ̀la náà máa mú tó kò bá jẹ́ tolúwa ṣé ẹ mọ̀ pé lásán nígbà tí mo sọ mo ní ìgbà táwọn èèyàn ń pariwo woman yìí káàkiri mo ní ó máa láti ní reason there must be reason why màmá onítìrí keep ourselves to ourselves because ẹni tó bá gbé aṣọ àlàdání tẹnìkan dẹ̀ ń gbé pọ̀bọ̀ Koiki tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ti gbàṣọ àlàdání tó ń gbàdúrà nípẹ̀ tẹnìkan bá ń gbé pọ̀bọ̀ kí ló máa ṣe ṣe mú àyàgò fẹ́ nìyẹn ni kó má da epo sínú aṣọ àlà ẹ̀ so àdúrà tẹ́mi kọ́ máa gbà láàárọ̀ yìí fún everybody tó ń gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ mi ní under your program pé lágbára Olúwa àwa tá a bá ti fòótọ́ ṣe tí kì í ṣe pé bóyá wọ́n rán wa wá tí kì í ṣe pé àwọn mọ̀dàrú náà wá wá tá a bá ti ń fòótọ́ ṣe tá à ń fòótọ́ dá sí Ọlọ́run máa gbé wa lẹ́yìn bó ṣe wá ráwọn yòókù nǹkan tí ojú wọn máa rí ẹ máa wòran àwọn ò lágbára lóògùn ní kankan bọ̀tá ní Ọlọ́run àwọn mùsùlùmí ń pe tiwọn àwọn Christian ń pe tiwọn aláṣà àbáráyé ń pe tiwọn ẹ wá lọ́wọ́ lóhùn ò ní gbọ́ níbi tó ti ń tẹ̀jẹ̀ sílẹ̀ everyday bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ti kidnap àwọn èèyàn bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ti pa àwọn èèyàn bí mo ṣe ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n ti ṣàfihàn àwọn èèyàn rúbọ ṣé yẹn la fẹ́ jókòó sí no enough is enough so ẹ máa bẹ́ tó bọ̀ God bless you Ọlọ́run agbórí yín sókè thank you my dear bye for now.
Remember, let's watch this. I'll come back in a minute.
Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Máa ń sọ sórí onígbà tó máa ń bísí onígbà tí kò kì í bísí ó ti lọ nìyẹn the next one ẹ máa dé ní next one máa dé ní 1 minute so bàbá sọ fún yín pé Yorùbá lórí ìlú ṣe àbúkà ń sọ lórí náà lè sí. Koikimedia bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Èdè ní 23rd of August 2022 sóríire náà ó ti rẹ́dí láti depart sórí kọ̀mpútà mi ó máa tilẹ̀kùn ó dà pé sẹ́ńsọ̀ fún yàtọ̀ tó fẹ́ wọlé ilẹ̀kùn yẹn máa ti lè sìn ìyẹn la ti ń sọ fún yín sórí the next one tó máa dé ó máa dé ní 1 minute èdè náà ti dé èdè náà ti lọ so má jẹ́ kí àwọn parọ́ fún ẹ pé Yorùbá lè ní ọ̀pọ̀ síbò wọ́n ti bá Yorùbá báwa náà ti máa ní network wa ní máa gbé náà from point A to B o tún ní pé náà tó gbé every minute bọ́n ṣe ń gbóyàn yìí tó ń lọ ní má yẹ kí àwọn parọ́ fún ẹ Yorùbá nation now.
They wanted to be separate from the country that the British Empire had imposed on us, which was this country of Nigeria, where they kind of took a bunch of independent nations who don't have anything to do with each other, don't even speak each other's language, don't relate. Many of them were even enemies and warring at the time, smushed them all together and drew these arbitrary lines around them and called them countries and named those countries.
Right.
And then said, now y'all get along and do a country for us and be a union for us. And then go through, contentious, bloody independence processes that never really yield any real independence. You're still part of a commonwealth afterwards.
True.
And you have the eternal meddling in your affairs and the eternal extraction of your resources. And the eternal fomenting of divisiveness and infighting in order to be able to control you. This is what an oppressor does, a colonizer does. These are tactics and strategies of dominance.
Right.
We were subjected to that as a larger unit of Nigeria. And then when the Igbo people said, we want our own thing, let's go and do that. Well, it so happened to be that the territory that this new country of Biafra was going to be in included very, very rich oil reserves. And the British were not going to let go of that.
Wow.
And the people that they had put in power, their puppet Nigerian governments weren't going to do that either because they needed it for the Nigerian project.
Right.
And Britain needed it for its own interests and uses. So Great Britain got directly involved in this civil war and in the war for independence and decided that they would do everything to make sure that Biafra did not go.
Wow.
And this everything meant directly funding genocide of the people of Biafra.
Once again, a very good morning, and we continue our campaign to tell the world that we are not Nigerians, and this is a proof to that as well.
Thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this would help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought forth, not to bore you, first, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western Region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Amadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only the British intention for the country. This is thinking about.
And the Nigerian thinking is only the British intention. Let's go to the next caller. Hello, caller. Hello. All right. Plus 4474044059117. Emma Bino, I had to get something to drink, and that was why. Let's take. I think the caller's coming back again. Hello.
Hello, Mr.
All right, go ahead. I'm going, Carol. Go ahead. I'm going. All right, that's location confusion. Let's take the next call quickly. The network on location 9 is not a very good one. Hello, caller.
Hello, Koiki. Good morning.
Good morning. Àlàáfíà lọ́wọ́ ti law school. Láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ school ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ full time, so.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Mr. Koiki, torí Ọlọ́run, mo máa fẹ́ bèèrè nǹkan kan ni. Mo ti ń gbọ́ ní program kan lánàá, mo fẹ́ mo try láti pè lánàá. Bọ̀ ọkọ yẹn ò wọlé. Kan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé ẹjọ́ èèyàn náà because wọ́n ti fẹ́ dànìyàn lórí irú.
Okay.
Ó tiẹ̀ ti wá sú mi débi pé olúwẹ̀ ọmọ nǹkan tó ń ṣe mọ́. Bóyá ká jùlẹ̀ ni o, bóyá ká gbé, I don't even understand.
Okay.
You will be saying something, somebody will be saying something else.
Okay.
Kí ló wà ní dìgírì? Ṣé a ti declare ni? Ṣé ká dúró di 2023 ni? Ṣé ká dúró di bàbá Gbowó ni? Kí ni ká ṣe gangan kọ́ má dáyàn lórí irú? Táwọn bá dẹ̀ ní kankan pé wọ́n fi wálẹ̀ bọ́ ṣe pa wà.
Okay.
Do you understand me? Because kìíní mo ti fún ọ̀tá mi ní brain torture.
Okay.
Mo tẹ̀ ọkọ̀ rẹ̀ kó bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n ní ti gbogbo Yorùbá kìíní kan lórí fóònù mi ní kí tẹ̀ mọ́ àgbọ̀ mọ́ because ojoojúmọ́ different things là ń gbọ́. Àárí good kìíní kan báwọn kan ò bú àwọn tó jẹ́ ẹgbẹ́ bàbá wọn àwọn kan á máa bú àwọn ẹgbẹ́ yàláyà wọn. Ṣé nǹkan tí Yorùbá nation wà fún nìyẹn ni àbí kí ni gangan náà? Because èmi ò understand nǹkan tó rí ní go on. Torí ọ̀tún àádá news ta gbọ́ láàárọ̀ yìí pa programu yìí ọ̀tún àádá news ta gbọ́ ọ̀sán àná ọ̀tọ̀ ní títún gbọ́ lálẹ́ àná pẹ̀lú LPDK ni and ó tẹ̀ wá ń tọ́ṣọ̀ brain mi báyìí. Èmi ò rẹ̀ fẹ́ kí Yorùbá nation kankan kó wá dà mí lórí irú because ó jẹ́ Nàìjíríà náà la wà ká wà mẹ́ka máa mu gàrí wa lọ o. Torí ibi tí mo wà yìí wọ́n fún mi ní nǹkan kan wọ́n enjoy ara mi níbi tí mo wà yìí. Wọ́n ò dẹ̀ lé mi jọ̀ọ́jọ̀. A fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan we are all going to put up to our mind to it and try to our effort. You understand? And I dey wan gbọ́ àwọn kan fà sókè àwọn kan fà sílẹ̀ àwọn kan fà sáàrin kí ni ká ṣe. Please just enlighten me please.
All right. Eshegoni, we'll do so in the course of the program. Eshegoni Yawa, let's take the next caller. One thing we need to understand for those of us that are a little bit worried and concerned. Ṣé declaration ṣó wà valid? Ṣó wà invalid? What is this declaration all about? From what we heard, and from what I have heard, and what you must have heard, because if you have not heard it, then you need to go and watch and hear it. It's a declaration that they've made. And it is one of our leaders that have made this declaration, somebody that we all know very well. But the question people are asking is, was this declaration something that everybody was aware of? That's the question. How valid is this declaration and how authentic is it? If we are saying we are going to declare, right? We're going to declare one way or the other. But the process and at the time is what everybody was asking. And there's still a lot of people that are concerned to ask a lot of questions, that wants to know. So if you are of that view and that opinion, good morning, Adekunle, my brother, of what has been happening, I think like on Monday, is what we have heard of this declaration. If you have listened to it, if you have not listened to it, you got to go and listen to it so that you'll be able to understand what the declaration means. And one thing is, wake up call or whatever you're called. Let me respond to you a little bit. You have the right to whatever you are saying. In terms of saying that Oloye Igboho is not straightforward. Let me say this clearly to you. You are probably talking nonsense, okay? Nonsense is what you're talking about. You are talking complete nonsense. I've read a lot of your comments that you put out there, but you don't have the evidence to say that Oloye is not serious. He's serious, that's why the government wants to kill him. And Oloye is one of the most important part of this movement. I'm talking about Chief Sunday Igboho. So, question táwọn èèyàn béèrè is valid. People wants to know. Short and thick ni. Ṣé bí a ṣe máa declare náà lélẹ́yìí? Ṣé bó ṣe máa rí lélẹ́yìí? And everybody needs to understand that at some point in this journey, there will be a declaration. But the question is, ṣé declaration yẹn máa wá látọ̀dọ̀ èèyàn kan àbí ó máa wá láti a whole group of people? Since we have three leaders, everybody knows. I mean, we probably have two. Then along the line, Chief Mrs. Modupe joined the movement. So we now have three leaders. And every of these leaders wants to run the affairs of the Yoruba nation according to their own understanding. So who are we from the media, as myself, to say, that if I have said 3 years ago that we are going to kill Nigeria, even if anybody comes back again tomorrow and say we have declared, as long as they say they have declared, they have declared. It is the next process of that declaration that will determine. It is the next process. People have said it to our face. And I say that we are coming out. So, ọ̀rọ̀ pé ṣé what to declare officially, we have been calling ourselves since 3 years now. Baba Akintoye already said so from 2019, and there's evidence. And that was why we read. Ṣèbí àwọn kan náà kí ọ̀rọ̀ UNPO yẹn síta pé àwọn wo ni UNPO tẹ̀lé registers abẹ́ UNPO. And even the United Nations is just an organization that might allow us to become a member or not. And it can be vetoed by UK or America or any of the other countries. Tabade veto ekpe àwọn allow wa can be member does not stop us from being a nation anyway. Gbogbo ilé náà láti sọ. So the authenticity of whether these declaration is a confirmed, is genuine. If the leader that declares says is genuine, she must know what she's talking about. That is a genuine. Whether the other ones agree with that genuinity of that declaration is another thing that can be questioned. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. Mo pe nǹkan tí mo sọ yé wa. Ṣé declaration ìṣó wà authentic? Tó bá dẹ̀ wà authentic, then we must wait for the next move. And the next move was explained by her, our leader, Chief Mrs. Modupe, yesterday on that program that a lot of you have listened to. So if there's now a bit of concern, you would have to wait and see how the transition goes. Because I have it there on the record that Baba Akintoye says, and I quote, on the 8th of October, when questions were asked about the rallies, and he says, and I quote, that the first question was, clarify, be rally and Shemawaye, one, you will take over your town and cities or whatever. Then somebody asks, after the rally, what next? After the rally goes according, by the time it's over, declaration will be made. So if one declaration has been made now, the question then people will be asking is, will there be another declaration that is coming? And can we have 2 or 3 declarations? Is a question that you need to ask yourself. Ṣé declaration kan la máa ní àbátú máa ní mí during the super rally? Because what we have been told is, there will be a super rally. And nobody has argued that there will not be a super rally and declaration in 2022. So if we have seen one declaration, so why are we all now saying, oh, so what genuine? If we know that the person that says that declaration, is the declaration. Igboho is not tired of talk. It's because a lot of you want us to expose things that is not going to be done. How do you know Igboho is tired himself? Ṣé Odebene Republic, Tunde Adeyeye, Abinu Yare ló ti ń comment yẹn. Because if you say Igboho is tired, Igboho that I spoke to up to yesterday on a video call to talk about sensitive things that cannot be for public consumption. Ṣé gbogbo tí Prime Minister mi sọ níbí báyìí ló ń sọ fún mi ni? So this last caller that was asking, she's confused. There's nothing to be confused about. We have said that we are going this year and we have 3 leaders. Everybody knows that there's probably not a cordial relationship amongst them. That is for your own consumption because everybody have seen the move. But this declaration, what is it going to lead to before the super rally is called? In our journey, we are still in it. We will continue to monitor. And each day, we will come here and talk about it. But nobody have said, I have not condemned the declaration. Some say I'm not celebrating it. How am I not celebrating it? If I decide not to talk about it, there's nothing anybody can do about it to me. Nobody can. Movement now. Nobody brought me into this movement. Not even Baba Akintoye, not Igboho, not Chief Mrs. Odupe Odritiri. None of them brought me into the movement. And nobody is paying for my time. And that's a fact. And it's on record. I started talking even before, I know any of the 3 of them. So, and I have to be here to say the way I feel. And I can say it whether you agree with it or not. Share Atumani declaration on me. We will wait and see until that. But everybody knows that there is something sinister between, these leaders that is making the movement shaky. And I have been very, very intelligent to avoid that. And it's as simple as that. So how do you now want to pin a declaration on koikimedia? When a declaration was made, the way that you're not sharing, let me not share it. So how do you want to pin that with me? I will declare, mo celebrate. Kí lẹ mean pé mo celebrate? Ìjọ tó jáde lórí Jimmy Boy YouTube. I went there and listened to it. French ẹnìkan ni mo gbọ́ Yoruba ẹ̀, mo gbọ́ English ẹ̀. And I came here, I did a program on it. And you can go and watch my program. I didn't condemn it. So if anybody is now saying, oh, Koiki o celebrate, could jubilate. So, what do you mean by that? I am not the spokesperson for Baba Akintoye. I am not the spokesperson for Unitary, but I am the spokesperson for IGBOHO. And I can confirm authoritatively that whatever IGBOHO is telling me is what I am saying. So if anybody is saying, ṣé what he declared is see, ṣé atumani declaration me, what I have been told from that message was that there will be a transition government after a declaration. And if you listen to Unity yesterday, she was talking about interim, or I think she mentioned as interim government. She said the same thing. So the question is there, the question we should be asking is there a synergy? And if there's no synergy, even after a declaration, would there be a synergy going into an interim government? Or we will just come up again and say, no, táwọn bàbá Akintoye náà máa kó interim government wọn jáde, ìyá Onítìrí náà máa kó interim tiwọn government jáde. And the question now is, okay, so báwo la ṣe máa wá ṣe méjèèjì? Because if we have two interim government operating in one nation, then we need to ask questions. But like I said, there is a lot that I might not be able to say. But the fact that the way that you heard about the declaration was exactly the way I heard about it. And that's a fact. But I had rumor of this declaration before it was made, because I had somebody that called me and told me that there will be a declaration. I was privy to know that there will be a declaration because somebody hints me ahead. And I don't have to be carried on to say up to the final stage, Koiki, declare lola. What to declare? Oh, I to declare. Wow, beautiful. And I went there and I listened to it. As I speak right now, I don't have a copy of that declaration in a text or in a PDF. As a media person, do you understand what that means? Tí Prime Minister wa tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ tán nísìn, kó tó sọ̀rọ̀ tán láti máa gba paper in tó fi sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, wọ́n máa present ẹ̀ fún gbogbo media via email, or wọ́n máa print ẹ̀ tó máa pè fún wa ká bá lọ sí Downing Street. So somebody is asking what's the difference between rally and declaration. Ó ti sọ náà, rally àwọn èèyàn máa ń jáde, wọ́n máa protest. Declaration is something to say we proclaim, or I have to look at the dictionary for information. So what I'm trying to say is, on the 8th of October last month, Baba says, and I quote, that after the super rally or in between the super rally, there will be a declaration. But one declaration has come prior before a super rally is held. There must be a reason for that. But are there synergy going forward now, or are we still going to be skeptical? Because people are skeptical is the question that people are asking. Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ńbẹ̀ yẹn? I believe it. But people are still skeptical. Wọ́n skeptical. Àwa kọ́ ni Tinubu tó ń kó yín lọ sí 2023. So gbogbo pé wọ́n ń kó wa lọ sí 2023 yẹn. Mo ti sọ, if you have the evidence, bring it out. Because everybody is saying, oh, Baba Akintoye cannot be trusted. I trust Baba here. Okay, agreed. But Baba has not said officially that we know. Bí àwa wá ń sọ nínú kọ̀rọ̀ ni táwọn kan wá gbọ́ pé ní tí Baba yìí sọ ẹ fún wa ní evidence ẹ̀. Because sọ̀rọ̀ is just a mere say. So, and as a spokesman to IGBOHO, if there's going to be a declaration, IGBOHO is going to confide in me. Because only bí tá ti sọ̀rọ̀ dé tí a need láti ṣe máa pinnu ara lé fún yẹn. Ìyẹn lèmi ṣe lọ sílé, èmi lọ́lé ni mo lọ sacrifice fún IGBOHO ni pé màá wálé. IGBOHO was the only person that knows I was coming on before my wives, even before my mother. Ìjọ tí mo fẹ́ kúrò ní UK mo ṣe lọ dágbére fún mom sí mi. So what the hell are you talking about pé nǹkan kan máa wá ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìnyí chief ò ní consult mi, kò ní sọ fún mi? No. So there is a lot of skepticism around a lot of things that people are just trying to get a clarity, nothing more than the fact. Everything is genuine, but people just want to get clarity. And on top of that, clarity, it becomes a problem in the movement. So, and that's all we can say. And I hope that clear that section. You know, quite a lot of calls is coming through. Let's take the next call quickly. Hello, caller. Bishop. Oh, network.